was if you weren't musically gifted enough to be in band, or you didn't manage to get into drama, the literary magazine was the other place where the weirdos were. And I have a couple poems published in here that I'm not going to read those today, but more importantly, my girlfriend and I were co-editors contentiously. It was not easy. It was long after we broke up, and it wasn't easy, but we were co-editors on an official copy of our literary magazine for our school, and then one of the other people organized a SMUT version. And we let our advisor know. Our advisor was very hip. She was like, "I am perfectly fine not knowing about this. Go for it." So anyway, my girlfriend, we were in 10th grade, and she published a poem artistically, poetically characterizing the smell and flavor of pussy.
Yes!
She had a sample size of 2, so I hunted for that copy. I'm sorry, I would have read that out loud if I could have found it. So maybe some other time. But the poem that I do want to share, I am madly in love with a guy named Diego. He's from Colombia. He lives in Missouri right now. He used to live in Portland. Anyway, we're just diving in deep, and it's amazing. It's the closest I've ever felt to anyone in my life, and it's just getting better and better every moment.
Yeah.
And even the hard stuff, it seems like that we just end up growing from it. So he was in Portland for a month in March, and his flights got canceled. And he ended up being here one extra night. And so I already had gotten together some friends to go out to Jujuba, which is an amazing Afro-funk band, incredible dancing. I've had transformative experiences to their music 2 out of the 6 times I've seen them. So do it. Anyway, so we were already planning to go out, and he came out dancing with us. And we had some of the best dancing of my life, not just because he's Colombian, he's actually not that experienced of a partner dancer, but just the way that we fit together. We were so with the music, and it was just off the hook level of intimacy and connection. We could feel there were eyes on us around the room, like we were that couple that people were like, wow. Also, like, is there some point where they're gonna say, no, you can't dance that sexy here? The rules have to be made for someone. Anyway, so we were on a half a dose of acid that night, which I have to say that is a magic charm for us. Half a dose, just half a dose. So I put him on his Uber at 3:30 in the morning, but we had 2 hours and 20 minutes of bonus time together. He said it's like in a soccer game, football game. The clock is still running while the players are pretending to be injured. So they add on extra time. It's called tiempo extra. So he said, "This is tiempo extra." And it really made me feel the poignancy of that. And I realized that this moment is a time that we're going to remember for the rest of our lives. That we're going to say, "Hey honey, you remember that time that your flights got screwed up? And we went to Jujuba, and we danced so good. And then we had 2 hours and 20 minutes of precious tiempo extra." And so this poem is called Tiempo Inesperado. Esperar means to wish for or to want, but also to expect. So it's time that's not expected, but it's also time that we couldn't even have dreamed of. I'm a crier too. Usually that's how I know that Spirit's moving through me. Yeah, I'm a Quaker, and when the Spirit speaks to us and we have a message to give, there can be a shaking head to toe. I'm not scared at all of public speaking. But when I went to Quaker meeting the morning after this poem, and I told them my story, and I had that little tremble, and I was crying. Of course, that's a sign for me that I'm mining the gold, and I'm on the track. So I'm gonna have to explain pieces of it to you because probably, how many of you speak Spanish, by the way? Sweet, yay, I was hoping there'd be a good, so you're Also, there's some Colombianisms. Even if you speak Spanish, you may not understand my whole poem. Also, I write poetry at a level that's higher than my actual Spanish level, so whatever. Anyway, Tiempo inesperado. El apartacho resplandeciente, the glowing apartment, está esperando dos amantes quienes han escapado el tiempo. The glowing apartment is awaiting two lovers who have escaped time. El infierno y el paradiso, or el paraíso olvidados, nos encontramos ya en el destino. Hell and paradise forgotten, we find ourselves already in our destiny. And that's a pun because our destiny is also the apartment where just like literally we just got to our destiny. But it's also a joke because he calls his work El Infierno. And we nicknamed mine El Paraíso, like just because I like my job as a rolfer a lot. So it's saying like work, we've forgotten work. We're just here in our destiny. This is our moment. This is what we're meant to be here for. Which is like actually every single moment. It's just easy to have a lot of them not register quite that deep. Por la cintura del cristal, for the neck of the glass, because I couldn't find a word for hourglass, so I just had to describe it. Por la cintura del cristal, desliza un grano de arena, slides a grain of sand. Paralizado, paralyzed, congelado, como un día cancelado, por nieve, el otro tipo de tiempo, inesperado. So a grain of sand paralyzed, frozen, like a day canceled for snow. I didn't know how to say snow day, so I also spelled that one out. Like a day canceled for snow. El otro tipo de tiempo. This is a wordplay because tiempo is both weather and time. So it's the other type of tiempo, it's weather, inesperado. Like that section ended up rhyming, but there's no promise it's going to rhyme from here. Pastel de cumpleaños, fuera de temporada, birthday cake out of season. So I gave him a birthday cake flavored candy bar. That was his favorite flavor. It's gross, but he loves it. So I got him a birthday cake chocolate bar, but it's not his birthday, so it's pastel de cumpleaños, fuera de temporada. No es tiempo robado, it's not time robbed, sino regalado, but rather gifted. Un día más interperenados, a day more with their legs entwined, which is like a really sweet way of saying snuggling. So, no es tiempo robado, sino regalado, un día más interperenados. Oh, I feel like I've already taken up so much time.
Could I add?
You want to hear it just without her doing that?
Yeah, with all the Indian.
All right.
I want to hear like the sensuousness of
Oh,
it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
The
you.
musicality.
You are all a very generous audience. I feel very welcome. Yeah, thank you. Time that we couldn't even have dreamed of.
Wait, you want to hear it in Spanish? Yes.
No,
You want
English.
to hear English?
No, she's gonna do it better in English.
Would you like me
Well-
to do Spanish after?
Oh, that'd be amazing. Hello, you met once before. I recognize your face. I attended a class of yours.
There you go.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I think your pronunciation will be more perfect than mine. I'm always working on my accent, but man.
You were wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Every day it's getting better. Time we couldn't even have dreamed of, but also weather unexpected because it's like a snow day. The glowing apartment is awaiting two lovers who have escaped time. Heaven and hell forgotten, we find ourselves already in our destiny. Through the neck of the glass slides a grain of sand, paralyzed, frozen, like a day that's canceled for snow, the other type of tiempo, weather, that we couldn't have expected. Birthday cake out of season. It's not time that's stolen, but rather gifted. one more day snuggled together with legs entwined. Thank you. I do listen to the whole thing in English for Thank you. There's little sections that rhyme in Spanish, so
You want to
yeah.
pass the phone?
Thank you so much. Yeah, you've got a good voice. Yeah. Thank you for offering that. Remind me of your name.
Jimena.
Jimena. Pleasure.
Tiempo inesperado. El apartacho resplandeciente está esperando dos amantes, quienes han escapado del tiempo. El infierno y el paraíso olvidados, y nos encontramos ya en el destino. Por la cintura del cristal desliza un grano de arena, paralizado, congelado, como un día cancelado, de nieve, el otro tipo de tiempo, inesperado. La gatica gateando.
Okay, you can skip that.
Okay.
No, you can say it. It just has so many inside jokes that nobody will understand.
La gatica gateando, el caballo cabalgando, los perros ya tirados y el café congelado. La ovejita callada, la gordita encaletada, pastel de cumpleaños, fuera de temporada. No es tiempo robado, sino regalado. Un día más, entrepiernados.
Wow.